Hi everybody, welcome. We're going to be doing a collaboration starting right now. It's going to be See the Bright Side of Fall. Please join me and paint along if you can. I hope you enjoy. Okay, now we're going to start with the grass in the background, and we're going to have all kinds of fun things, a pumpkin patch, and maybe we'll have a child. Um, we're going to have some flowers. So let's just see what develops, okay? I'm going to start painting the background, at least the ground color here. And this is a green, kind of a bright, uh, corny green that we don't often use in landscapes, but I just love this green. It just has this very relaxing feel to it. It's a mixture of cad yellow, phthalo green, phthalo blue, and a little of titanium white. So this is going to be the undercolor, kind of fun, and we'll layer on top of that, okay? So we're going to do the pumpkin patch or the pumpkin field. So I threw some more cad yellow down, and like I said, a little um, phthalo green, phthalo blue. Had to get a little bit more water to make it spread a little better. Let's get this on here real quick. My name is Angie Green. I do a painting with those that have fibromyalgia and other type chronic pain problems where they need a little bit of relaxing and being able to focus on something else, putting your brain to work, kind of helps ease that a little bit. There's also a way you could paint that makes it a little less stressful, a little less focusing to the point where you don't realize that you're not moving your body. So I try to get out of that habit, try to get other people to join me getting out of that habit, and just paint in a way that you're just relaxing. You're not really focusing in on trying to be perfect, and paint a little bit more so that you're enjoying it and you're not going to be in pain by the time you stop painting and get up and try to move. So I hope you can get something out of that when we do this. I have a darker area over here, and then we're going to start getting a little lighter and brighter as we move to the right. You always want to have a light source um, so it could stay cheerful and less dreary. And grab a little bit more yellow. Figure out what I did with it. Okay, I have some hands of yellow here. Notice that hands of yellow kind of disappears into the rest of the paint a little faster than cad yellow. So that might be a problem. They look very much alike. But I'm fine with the hands of yellow. And we're just gonna just throw this on here, smooth it on in a easy fashion. I hope everybody has enjoyed their summer. I'm closer to the East Coast. We got cheated, kind of a little mad at this summer because May was warm, June not so much. August is so. I'm hoping we get a warm September. You know, sometimes I remember back from going to school, you'd start out with a heavy jacket and you come home in shirt sleeves and sweating, and I'm hoping for that because I like warm. I don't mind sweating. I hate freezing, but everybody's different. So I want to look forward to fall. I want to see the bright side of fall. That's the theme of what we're doing. Everybody has a different way of viewing things. I try to view things on the bright side, and I feel like that's what keeps me going. So fall, I didn't hear until later years. As I got older, I started hearing it. Some people thought fall was when everything starts dying, the flowers start dying. I never ever thought of it that way before. I heard it that way. And I thought, really, because fall to me is when a different kind of beauty comes out. You see different colors of the trees. They're just gorgeous yellow. Some falls are prettier than others, though, I have to admit that. But you see gorgeous yellows and reds and these bright, uh, pretty combinations of greens with maybe a dark burgundy and just beautiful colors. And I look forward to it. It's short, it's very short, but it's the weather's mild, it's not too hot, it's not too cold, and it's just so pretty. And I just like to capture it, especially the fall foliage. And that's something that you don't see everywhere. So that's what I want this to be about, looking on the bright side, seeing the bright side of fall. So if you want to hashtag see the bright side of fall, you might see everybody that's painting the bright side of fall this week. Starting today, it goes through the 19th, and I hope to get some more paintings in. So we'll see how it goes. It's kind of wild lately for me, all the things I'm trying to get ready for. So I hope to get some paintings in this week, some more than what I'm doing today, and have things to look forward to, remembering what it's going to be looking like in just a few weeks. So I have, like I said, more of the yellows on this side. And who knows, I might switch up, and throw something else in there that I hadn't planned. I love to paint by my imagination, and sometimes my brush takes me where I want to go, where it wants to go. Obviously, it must be where I want to go, because my brush doesn't have a mind, but sometimes it feels like it does. So we'll see how that works. I don't want to keep going over what I've already done, because then the paint will lift. But like I said, this is just the undercolor. So I'm going to put a darker color at the very edge and blend that in. Get back over here. A little bit more water. And to keep the light from showing through, in case there's not quite enough coverage, we're going to put another coat as we paint over this. So, and I get excited. I want to do this fast because I can't wait till I get to the next part, like a little kid. I'm just lifting this so that I could reach it better, and you will see me do that too. I have found that moving the canvas around makes life easier, instead of trying to stretch and reach in hard places. Just lift the canvas, move the canvas around. Right now I'm going to flip it so I can do the top. And get this top corner. This top corner has a little bit more yellow in it. And I'm thinking, sometimes I do this, I'm thinking I might just leave it like this, upside down. I'm liking the yellow over here, and I might just leave it like this. I think I will. Yeah, why not? It's my painting. I'm going to do what I want. So if you're following along and you started out with me, you're going to flip your canvas the other way, and now your light source is going to be coming from this direction. I'm liking the looks of it already. Okay, so that's my first coat. That's it right there. I'm just gonna do this thing where I'm getting rid of some of these rough strokes. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit and talk to you. Let's see here. Okay. Here. Here I am. I'm gonna try to get myself in the camera here. I've had a little bit of trouble doing that. And as we have it, sometimes these things are not as cooperative as we think they are. Okay, I don't get it. Okay, let's see. Can't, I'm trying to trying to trying to get, let's see. Okay, let's see what I did. You. I'm not able to transition my, I'm not able to transition my, I don't understand. Oh, don't switch. Huh. No wonder. I don't know what happened there. Don't switch. Where'd that come from? Okay, I should be able to do it now. I don't understand. Direction, right. Okay. Why is it not doing it? I don't understand why it's not transitioning. I'm going to be editing this out. Do a swipe right. Cut. It won't, like it won't quick transition. There. Oh, it did it finally. Okay. All right. Hi, my name is Angie. In case you haven't met me, I am the owner of the Facebook group Painting with Fibromyalgia. And what I try to do is have a group of other artists that get together, artists of all levels, beginners to professionals. We get together to encourage each other. We have problems with feeling pain, with motion, and sometimes sitting still. So we paint to try to cope with that, to try to help cope with that. Painting takes our mind off of our pain, and painting can help us use that emotion that we feel, the feeling that we feel, and put it into our art. And sometimes you could see that. You could see some intensity in our art, even happy art. It doesn't have to be sad art. So we get together and we encourage each other on our group, not just painting. We do upload our paintings from different groups. It doesn't matter whose paintings you do or if you do your own. And the other thing is we just say kind things and show that we understand how it feels to have pain a good portion of our lives at this point. So we get together and keep it positive. We do have ways that we could vent our how we're feeling, and we have ways of picking each other up. So our group is not flooded with a lot of sadness. Our group is really an upbeat group, and I'm pretty proud of that. So we also paint together. We have what we call paint parties, which is basically tutorials where the group can get together and join in and paint, or else just chat and bring each other up to date on how they're doing. And right now, I am just bringing attention to these issues that we have, that a lot of people have. It's very common, fibromyalgia, very common to have other sources of chronic pain. So I'm using this time to let you know what we're doing. We're trying to see the bright side of fall. So this is my first coat on the canvas here, my undercolor, and I'm going to be adding some more of a fall scene. So you could watch me if you want. If you're not up to painting, you could paint along with me, or you could just save this in your favorites and then paint at a later time. So I'd love to see your painting results. Just upload them as soon as you have them finished, or even if you have some final touches to do later, I'd love to see what you're doing. Okay, I hope you're feeling optimum right now. Look forward to talking to you later. Have some comments for me. If you have any, put them down below under comments. Please like my page, and or subscribe to my channel, and like my video. Hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it. And also hit the little bell so that you can get notified when there is something else that I have for you. Okay, thanks. And we're going to continue painting now. Let's see. Let's go back to our canvas. Okay, so our canvas is getting on the dry side. What I'm going to do is put some pumpkins in some rows here, and we're going to have a little hint of a path, and we're going to have the smaller pumpkins in the back at the top of the painting, and then they're going to get bigger and bigger and more spread out. You'll see more details as we come into the foreground. Let's see if I can get this a little bit more centered for you. There you go. So as we get more into the foreground, we're going to have a little bit bigger, more obvious. And then I'd like to have a wagon here, and then have some flowers and things like that. So things that just happy things. You ever go to the pumpkin patch with the little kids and ride on a wagon and do a hayride? Well, that's the kind of painting that I'd like to do. So that's coming up in the future. Our last painting was the carousel, and it's time right now for fairs to happen in most towns and cities and counties. So I have a painting that I'd love for you to watch and paint along with. It's in 2 parts on my channel. So you could put in your search painting with fibromyalgia. That might be how you found me. Or you could have found me through the event, which is probably more likely, see the bright side of fall. Whatever the case, you're in the right place. So if you're thinking about those funnel cakes and those rides and the carousel, paint along with that tutorial. That's a live one done with the group, and I think you'll enjoy it. All right, so let's see how far I've gotten here. Let's see if we're dry enough to start. Okay, maybe I'll plug in my blow dryer and see how that goes. Oh, this is not the spot. and rush this painting along a little. Normally in my group, I don't use the blow dryer because the blow dryer just makes us rush. So I try not to do that. No, it reaches. Now I'm going to do some little bit of sky. I like to put some sky in here. So I'm mixing phthalo blue and white. Phthalo blue and white. I'm getting a nice light color, and I'm going to go across the top, starting with a little darker, and then I'm going to get lighter as I go, okay? So I'm getting a little bit of blue here. It's a pretty blue. It's on top of that green. Okay, a little bit more. Yellow water. I'm going to be needing to change my water. That's a hint. I need a change of water. There's a jar in the rack over there. Just some cool water. Appreciate it. Thank you. There we go. Thank you. Okay. Get a little bit of sky. Brighten it up a little. For me, the brighter the better. It's the bright side of fall. Some little cloud streaks. Clouds don't have to be fluffy. And I'm going to let that dry. I might blow dry that. I think I will. Now I'm getting carried away with this blow dryer. I was never using it. And I really don't suggest you use it. I suggest you take this little bit of time to, if you're watching this on the replay, to paint along. Take this little bit of time to take a little break and do what you have to do. We all know what that is. Whatever you have to do. Okay, and I'll be right there. That's better. Now you can see the sky and the ground. Now I'm going to take my Deerfoot stippler. Well, I don't have a Deerfoot stippler. I want to have a little one, but I want to see. I'm going to try another method and see how it works. I have a little brush like this from the hardware store. I'm going to play with that a little bit and see how it works. I'll put a little more of phthalo blue on my brush. Put it on my palette. Just straight phthalo blue. There's probably still a little wet green on my palette. I just plopped it on top. This is just easy, fun, relaxing painting. I'm not stressing at all with this. I'm just experimenting, playing around. Yeah, so you know what? Who needs a Deerfoot stippler? Okay, it sounds good, but this little 2-inch brush, 1-inch brush does the trick. So if you want to go the cheap route, get a 1-inch brush from the hardware store. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. You can stipple on some grass. Look how that's going on. Look how that's laying in there. It's laying in there very nicely. I want to put some lighter back in too. Throw some more yellow in here so it's not so stark. I'll wipe it off a little bit. Just dab it. Just dabbing it on a paper towel so that it's not so on there so heavily, so densely. And the part that's on there heavy and dense, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to go back in there with some yellows. Look how the grass looks on here. Now here I'm going to put some more yellow in. Some more hands of yellow. And I'm going to go back and forth a little bit. The lighter section of the grass, I want to concentrate more on the yellow. Dab it off on my palette. And I'm going to go in, and I don't want to lose that light and dark. I really want to keep that light and dark. So where I need a touch up, I'm going to try to touch it up and fill that light back in there. I like the little bit of streaks of light. And put it right back in there. Dab into the yellow again and put my streaks, because I want that brush line to be going more vertical, and that was just my undercolor, so I'm going to go more vertical with this brush. And you see my variations of light and dark, how that's really helping this out. And these are just still what's my base underneath. This is still a layer underneath, okay? I'm going to go back here with some of this yellow. And I want it to be seen, so that's why I'm going with what that variation is. The yellow disappears pretty easily into my palette when I already have some green on my brush. I'm not worried about it because it gives me a natural blend. So here I am going to go into this. A little detail toward the back is okay because I don't want it so far in the distance. Pumpkin patch isn't going to go for miles and miles and miles. I want this. I like that streak right there. I'm going to follow this streak diagonally and up. A little bit more water. Dab it off. I don't want it too wet. I'm going back into my yellow. And I'm going to follow this up a little bit. I don't diagonally. Okay. More yellow. Following it up. There we go. And I'm going to bring it down. Bring it down now. I hope everybody's having a pretty decent day today. Should I admit to you that I worked last night? I worked a night shift. And I knew I was off tonight. So I wanted to kind of take advantage. But I promise you I will be going to bed after I get some painting in. So I'm going to be nice and relaxed. And I know I'll sleep well, so it'll be all worth it. Okay, so if those of you that are tuning in, this is not the normal brush that I use for painting. I'm using it as a stippler to put in some grass and start developing this field a little bit. Okay. I told you I was going to go in here and lighten this up a little. That's what I'm doing. Kind of lightening those smudges up. You see the effect that's happening here? Going back into my Just Phthalo, bringing it over to the part of my palette that has some yellow in it, but I'm not contaminating my glob of yellow that I have on here. Okay. just playing, getting some variations of color. Getting some variations right here. A little bit water in here. There we go. Yeah, I had to wet my brush a little bit. Okay. Now here's some more. I'm just going just slightly into that. I want to get some yellow streaks right here too. See that ray of sunlight? This is my rays of sunlight shining on my grass here. And if you notice outside, you see the rays of sunlight. You'll see it picks up some of the grass in its path, or the trees in its path. So that's what I'm doing. Going back into the green. And I'm just doing some light and dark. Light and dark. That's all I'm doing. Light and dark. And some of this is becoming more smudgy than it is stipply, which is fine. I want the stipply to be more at the bottom. I want the smudgy to be more at the top. And I do want full coverage over my undercolor. I do want that. So here we go. Going through a lot of Hansa. Well, that's okay. Hansa's not that expensive. It's not as expensive as cad yellow, and it doesn't have the cadmium in it for those that are concerned about that. There's not as much to be concerned about nowadays. They try not to put anything on the market that's ridiculously carcinogistic, if that's a word. Okay. All right. So there's my smudges there. Now I want to get a little more stipply, so I'm just like dabbing my brush into my phthalo, the part that has more phthalo blue in it, and I want to get a little more stipply here, meaning I want it to look like blades of grass. And now I'll turn it sideways a little more. Get those blades of grass in there. Okay. So this is a part of my process here. I'll get some more of my green that I got from phthalo blue and yellow. Put some more yellow in here to follow it through. More phthalo blue and yellow mix. And then I like to be darker down here. Not so dark. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay. I need a little bit more water. I want to show a little bit more of the brush stroke. So I'm just dabbing it on there. I'm going to go up this direction. Okay. A little bit more. Okay, this is what I want to do. Dry my brush off a little bit on a paper towel, so it's not, so my separate the bristles, so I can see more of my brush strokes. I'm going to dip a little yellow into the green. I want to show more, yeah, brush strokes. So I wanted to dry that off a little bit. All right, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to flip this over upside down. Don't worry, this time the sky's still going to be at the top, so don't worry, I'm not going to switch that up on you. Earlier, if you're just joining me, I flipped it and I decided to keep it flipped and keep the bottom at the top. I'm not doing that this time. Don't worry. I'm not going to try to throw you off again. I'm wetting my brush. I'm cleaning it off because I want it to be on the dry side so I can get the effect in here. So I'm mixing a little bit more phthalo blue and some yellow. And throwing some blades of grass on here. Throwing it on there. Okay. Almost done covering this up. I just wanted to cover this up. I didn't want that bottom layer to be the only layer on there. A little bit more yellow on my palette. Hands are yellow. Dipping it into the side of it. And I want this streak to show up too. I want this to show up. And a little bit more blue in here. Alright, getting there. I don't want to get it too bladey looking over here. Because this is going to be farther back in the distance. So I want this to look a little bit smashed. I don't know, my descriptive word's a little strange, right? I'll smash the paint here. A little yellow here because I want it consistently diagonal. Okay. Smash the paint here a little, go over that line. I see some lines in the paint, and I don't want lines. Okay, I see some lines over here. In this painting, I don't want lines. I want it to be more landscapey and less abstract. So I don't want lines. Okay, it's pretty good. And I want a little bit of surprise. I don't want it to be too predictable. So let's get a little surprise in here. A little bit more. There we go. A little bit more yellow. Okay. This is the horizon. Okay. Alright. I'm kind of liking that, guys. I'm going to flip it back around. Okay. This is, I feel like it's going to be one of those backgrounds that I don't want to cover up. Even though it's not an abstract, I just like the texture of that. I'm really liking the texture of that field. But I think I'll throw some pumpkins in there, but that's going to be kind of hard for me. But I'm liking that texture, that feel. Now I'm going to take a little break and let that dry. I suggest you take a little break, do some stretching, and come back and we'll pick up where we left off.